Hello, friends. Welcome back to Sunday Shenanigans with me, your host, Trevor Stewart 1308. And we are here with the Peanut Gallery and the ASOC Prod. Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Brain just went blank there. Hi, Just Me Crystal. Much love. Happy Easter. Merry 420. All of that stuff, because it is that day. And happy birthday to two of my nieces, Alita Sage and Isabel. Happy birthday, guys.
Hi, guys.
And yes, because it is 420. Hi, guys. Pre-rolls on this special 420 episode brought to you by, of course, The Hidden Leaf, downtown Charlottesville, Virginia, on the downtown mall, 105 West Main Street, above the bricks, between Green Cauldron and Hamilton's. A great place to go with some great buds, to get some great buds, a bud, and the only thing better than their bud is their customer service. And they have the lowest prices in town, according to my own personally highly biased research, by which I mean I was incredibly high when I did my biased research. The website is thehiddenleafcville.com. That's thehiddenleafcville, all one word, .com. Check the website for times and events such as Frosty Fridays, where you can find our other two sponsors, the Kush Gang, purveyor of fine baked goods, infused baked goods and drinks, and Firehouse Craft Organic Cannabis. A quick note of disclosure, we are an opinionated group of people. We are an opinionated show. We are an opinionated channel. And while we stand behind our opinions, our sponsors our opinions are not necessarily, what's the word I'm looking for here? Representative.
Our opinions are our own, and they are not shared nor endorsed by those that may choose to sponsor the show.
Right. Not representative of the opinions of our sponsors, including Hidden Leaf, Kush Gang, and Firehouse.
That is to say, they are not responsible.
Ha! I would say that we are irresponsible.
We are all sorts of things, yes.
Yes. Delicious. All right, so I had a thought. It died a sad and lonely death. Yes. Well, we are here to play along with Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, NPR's news quiz show. Let's go ahead and get that started. I feel like we were going to talk about something real quick, and then I completely forgot what it was. All right. There we go. Lewis Black is on the show today. That should be a lot of fun.
Yes, it should.
guys were all talkative a little while ago, and now you're just like quiet.
Us? Quiet?
Yeah, you quiet.
Never.
Never. Let's
They're
check.
plotting.
Yeah, aha, that's what I thought.
The fact that he can't see you doing the thing with your fingertips.
Oh,
just
but
makes
I
it
picture it.
Well, I made sure that it came through my voice.
Yes, he did a good job. Okay, let's see if you can hear this.
This message comes from Subaru. As part of their Subaru Loves the Earth initiative, they have partnered with the Arbor Day Foundation and will distribute over 100,000 trees this year, growing greener, healthier communities for generations to come. Subaru, more than a car company.
Wow, it wouldn't let me skip the
This
Subaru
message comes
commercial.
from Amazon Pharmacy. Sometimes when you go to pick up
Can you
a
guys hear?
prescription, you can get sick with sticker shock. Amazon Pharmacy has upfront pricing, so the only surprise...
Wait, don't tell me the NPR.
Still waiting to hear if you guys can hear it.
Yes.
Okay. Cheese and crackers, I couldn't hear you say yes.
Our news quiz. Sink your teeth into me, North Carolina. I'm your hot and saucy Bill McHugh.
Barbecue. Okay, guys. We're each keeping track of our own score this week, right?
You can try.
Earth.
What?
Piece of paper?
Can you hear me now?
What? Yes. I was
Trevor,
tempted...
put your glasses on. You need to hear me.
Exactly. I was tempted to say, no, I can't hear you. I don't have my glasses on. Turn that light off. I'm trying to listen.
I've actually heard that one.
Okay. All right. All right, now. Got our pencils, our papers. Everybody ready to keep score? You at home ready to keep score?
Erp.
Right on. Here we go.
I'm Bill Curtis, and here is your host at DPAC in Durham, North Carolina, Peter Sagal.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, everybody. Thank you all so much. We are delighted to be back in Durham, a place known for polite and kind Southern gentlemen, just like the Jason Isaacs character in The White Lotus. Later on, we're going to be talking to the comedian Louis Black, famous for his Back in Black rants on The Daily Show and for playing anger itself in Inside Out, and also a proud graduate of the University of North Carolina. I know that's a little surprising, but that's why he sometimes shouts at people in a drawl. We want to hear your delightful regional accent. Give us a call to play our games. The number is 1-888-924-8924. That's 1-888-WAIT-WAIT. Now let's welcome our first
which
listener
one of my
contestant. Hi, you're
regional
on Wait, Wait, Don't
accents
Tell
y'all
Me.
want to
Hey,
hear?
Peter, this is Tim calling from Swarthmore, Pennsylvania, right outside of the greatest city in the world, Philadelphia.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm glad you clarified because I wasn't quite sure what you were going to say. Philadelphia. Swarthmore, I know, famous for its college. What do you do there?
Correct. I actually don't work at Swarthmore, but I work in higher ed communications at another local university.
Oh, really?
Wow.
So you live in Swarthmore, where Swarthmore College is, but you're like, to hell with you when you work for somebody else.
You got that right. You know, sometimes you just got to get away.
Yeah, I understand. Rebel, why don't you?
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the show, Tim. Let me introduce you to our panel this week. First, he's a comedian you can see at the Wall Comedy Club in Bakersfield, California on May 3rd. It's Alonzo Bowden.
Hello,
Hey,
sir.
Alonzo.
Hello, Alonzo. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Next, he's a comedian and the host of the 5 o'clock Somewhere News on Instagram, and he'll be opening for W. Kamau Bell at Chicago's Den Theater on April 26th. It's Adam Burke. Hello.
Hey, Adam.
Good to talk to you.
And she is a comedian you can see on tour in Honolulu, April 25th, Nashville, May 2nd, and St. Louis on May 3rd. It's Dulce Sloan.
Hey, Dulce. Oh, I love Dulce Sloan.
Dulce.
Tim, welcome to the show. You, of course, are going to play Who's Bill this time. Bill, as he always does, is going to read you 3 quotations from this week's news. If you can correctly identify or explain 2 of them, you will win our prize. Any voice from our show you might choose in your voicemail. Are you ready to go?
Let's do it.
Let's. Your first quote is about a university's response to threatened funding cuts.
It's like Goliath versus Goliath.
Harvard comment in the New York
Harvard.
Times article about
Yeah.
what university, that to many people's surprise, is
Harvard.
standing up to the government.
Doctor?
Harvard.
Harvard, yes! The Trump administration is trying to yank $2 billion in funding from Harvard after that university refused to cave to their demands. Harvard's stance does seem brave, but like all Harvard students, if they lose their funding, their dads can take care of it. Were you guys surprised to see Harvard taking this stance?
I don't know if I was surprised, considering $2 billion to Harvard is like, what, $20?
Yeah.
Right?
You know,
Yeah,
they're like, yeah, we'll go through the couches, we'll get the spare change, we'll cover the $2 billion.
Now, Harvard, of course, they had the advantage of having an example of what happens if you do cave, which is what Columbia University did recently. Now, Columbia, I know, but they're paying for it. Now they are required to devote most of their research to studying if the water is making us gay.
Wow.
And, well, we'll find out. Research takes time. I have to say, personally, it is so exciting to see people finally rooting for Harvard. This is a change. I actually wore my Harvard t-shirt out in public the other day, and instead of people shouting, "Hey, jackass," they yelled, "Way to go, jackass!"
Wow. I can't believe you figured out a way to work out to include that you went to Harvard into that sentence. Well, that was so deft.
Well, I mean, I've been doing that for years, but now, for the first time ever, I may not get mocked for it. So how could I resist? All right, here is your next quote.
We're going to put the ass in astronauts.
That was pop star Katy Perry
Oh, God.
talking
Going
about
to
her
space.
trip where this week with a crew of other women.
Space.
Into space.
Into space, yes! Jeff Bezos' rocket company Blue Origin launched the first ever
I paid
all-female
so
crew into
little
space this week, including
attention to
Perry
this.
and Bezos' fiancée, Lauren Sanchez. It was an inspiring moment for women, including little girls everywhere who now know that you can do anything if you have a rich boyfriend.
Which is what I've been.
I paid so little attention to this. It felt so bread and circuses to me.
The one piece of news that I thought they might have been going after when they were starting about space was how they have the FAA has reset the definition for an astronaut, meaning that all these billionaires who have built and bought rockets to go up into space aren't counting as astronauts.
Aren't?
They are not.
Yay! Way to go, FAA! Win for the FAA.
The part about this whole particular space thing that I paid the most attention to was the fact that the shuttle, the rocket, the whatever that they went up in, looked an awful lot like the one from Josie and the Pussycats cartoon. But that wasn't a rocket, it was a submarine.
I did not look. I never saw the. I haven't seen the Josie and the Pussycats cartoon in 30 or 40 years. So I don't remember what the submarine looks like. I have a distinct fear that it looks rather phallic.
I think your fear is well confirmed.
Right. It just feels like it's a... what I'm going to say is I am glad that I have a certain amount of restraint. More restraint today than I think I did yesterday. Thank goodness we didn't talk about this yesterday, because there would be some
other things being said.
Well, you don't have to be a dick about it.
I mean, it feels like dick riding to me. Believe me, I know what it feels like to ride a dick. That was just over the line, Trev. I'm gonna leave it in anyway. There's just so much wrong with it that nope.
Trying to teach these girls.
People are criticizing, this 11-minute flight up and back for being like just a dumb PR stunt, but it is a step forward for women in space. Think about it. The last time a woman went to space, they left her there for 11 months.
Right.
I have to say, Peter, as a comic, when we do shows, the worst thing is when a bachelorette party walks in. You're just this is going to be, and this, now the whole country gets to see why we don't like bachelorette parties. This was just a giant bachelorette party. Look how rich we are. We're going to fly to space for 11 minutes, then we're going to come back and get drunk. And they...
Yeah, well, isn't that the issue? Because that's the problem that people said, when they said, like, this is feminism and inspiration. If they just called it space brunch, nobody would have cared. You know what I mean? It was just zero-G karaoke. It would have been fine.
I know. I should say, by the way, that some of the commentary about this seems a little sexist, so I just want to say for the record that I also thought it was stupid when Michael Strahan went up there.
Right. Hey, get off my boy Strahan now.
I do love at one point they're up there and they're all taking selfies and someone gets their attention and goes, "Hey everybody, look at the moon. Yeah, let's look at the one thing we can already see from the Earth."
But they were marginally closer,
Yeah.
I should say that on board this ship were Lauren Sanchez, Gail King, Katy Perry, and two women with bad publicists.
Could you imagine being in the and more on the bottom of this article?
No, it definitely seemed like a crew that was picked by guys, in the Blue Origin boardroom saying, okay, what celebrity deaths could our company recover from?
Wow.
First Strahan, now Gail King, how dare you?
Dang, that was a wow.
Lockpick.
Yeah, that was a good one, and right when Lockpick comes in too.
Yes. Right. Forgive me, I had it wrong. I was picturing the wrong submarine. They actually went to space in the cartoon, and it looks like the spaceship that went up with.
Okay. But still. Hi, Lockpick. Happy Interspecies Bunny Chicken Celebration Day. Already 2 shots deep. Nice, nice. That's the way to celebrate Zombie Jesus Day. And also, 420. Happy 420. May or may not behave. Oh, good. Good. This is the way we like our Lockpick. Okay. You won't won't mention birthdays today. That'll get you canceled again. Probably smart.
Also, Gail King was defending this, and she said, look, this is science, and this
Hey,
trip
Master
proves
Austin 420.
that one of the things that Blue Origin is trying to do is show that we can shoot waste products into
space, yeah.
Which feels like a bit of a self-own.
A little bit, a little bit. All right. Your last quote is a description of a particular vacation resort outside New York City.
It's like summer camp, except with a really fancy bed and premium craft cocktails.
Right. Now, that resort was appealing to the growing number of vacationers who are trying to recreate trips from when?
Bless you. Their childhood?
Yes, their childhood. Very good, Tim. People are setting out to recreate their childhood vacations. It's a trend the Hilton hotel chain in their newsletter is calling, quote...
Okay. None of us got that, A, right? B.
Nope. No.
We all heard that person say, bless you, didn't we?
Yes.
Okay. That wasn't any of us, right?
No. Not me.
Not me. And we know it wasn't you, Peanut Gallery. So that was...
my mouth was full of cheese, so... Yes, I'm eating a block of cheese and drinking Mountain Dew.
There you go. Lockpick says there's a whole hailstorm of birthdays just waiting to be zeeged.
Ouch.
I mean, there's a reason I love him.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can say to that is there's a reason I love you, Lockpick.
Time travel. And they say it is, quote, about recapturing the sense of joy, stability, and comfort those memories are built on.
Okay, now, let's unpack this bit because they want to relive their childhood? Okay, that is some rich person crap right there.
I want to note something. They want to relive their childhood, but what are they drinking?
There's that too.
They're going here, they're doing this with, and they've got the fancy cocktails and stuff.
Right, that's not reliving their childhood. That's...
The level of entitlement that you are assuming these people have also leads me to believe that, yes, this is reliving their childhood, with the only exception being they no longer have to hide what they're drinking.
There it is. There it is.
That's fair.
Lockpick says, I have a Jewish last name. I'm immune to judgment on this subject. I love it. I love it. Lockpick says, I hope they live off that orange liquid from McDonald's, throw their phone away, and have somebody 5 times their size mercilessly beat them before bed every night. Exactly. That's my point. You really want to relive childhood? Because that's childhood I remember. I mean, not every night, but you know. Childhood wasn't, like, fun. But again, entitlement. Rich enough they don't have to hide what they're drinking. Rich enough that the adult that was beating them before bed wasn't their parent. It was somebody their parent hired to do that.
I suppose they don't have to hire that person back.
No.
Memories like the time your sister bit you in a Motel 6. Vintage vehicles are also back. This is true. That sounds amazing. I'd give anything to once again ride completely unrestrained in the back of a Chevy Caprice station wagon.
Right?
Are these people who had nice childhoods?
That is my supposition. Yes.
But the other part of this is that your family's not there. That's the other part of a childhood vacation, is that you went with your family.
Lockpick says, all things come round full circle. Now I hire the person who beats me before bed.
I mean, urns are pretty transportable.
What did you say? What did you say?
I said that I had nothing to add.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
This is true. There's a lot of nostalgia
Urns are
for like old
transportable.
school style travel. So like they brought back the Pan Am airline brand for like charter trips, so you can fly Pan Am again. And for extra verisimilitude, 1/3 of the flights will be hijacked to Cuba.
What word did you just say?
Verisimilitude.
That's that Harvard panel.
That's Harvard.
Yep.
In case Trump is listening, realness.
Bill, how did Tim do in our quiz?
He gave us a great start, 3-0.
Well done, Tim.
Thanks, Peter.
Bye-bye. Right now, panel, it is time for you to answer some questions about this week's news. Alonzo, the drugs we take often pass into drains, toilets, and then into rivers and lakes. And it turns out that anti-anxiety drugs are doing what to wild salmon?
They're
stopping
making
them from spawning?
Yeah.
No, it's sort of affecting their behavior.
They're swimming downstream.
making them lazy.
They're not avoiding the
How
bears.
about a hint?
I'll give you a hint. If you see a salmon riding a motorcycle without a helmet, now you know why.
They're
They're
not.
daredevils
Yeah,
now?
it makes them reckless. Reckless wild salmon. Scientists wanted to see what the drugs we're putting into the rivers via our wastewater were doing to the fish who live there. So, as an experiment, they dumped a bunch of anti-anxiety meds into the water where some certain salmon were spawning, and they found out those salmon ended up being far more reckless than the others. These salmon were like, "Come on, guys, it's just a bear. What's it gonna do? Catch us in the air?"
What is it?
What is reckless behavior in a fish?
That's a good question.
Is it like it lets itself get caught because it wants a lip piercing?
Something like that.
Was this one of them schools that lost funding?
Can I order Xanax salmon at the restaurant? And is that more?
And of course, the medicated fish were more likely to make it back upstream to spawn, but as many of us have experienced, once they got there, they weren't really interested.
Gonna have to start spilling some Viagra.
Yeah, exactly. Coming up, our panelists try some Easter innovations in our Bluff the Listener game. Call 1-888-WAIT-WAIT to play. We'll be back in a minute with more Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me from NPR.
Pardon me.
So your business can /spark
Help you communicate more.
comes from Amazon, delivered fast.
NPR News Quiz. I'm Bill Curtis. We are playing this week with Alonzo Bowden, Adam Burke, and Dulce Sloan. And here...
You know,
Okay.
all right. Let's go ahead and think about that for a second. What happens when the bears eat the medicated fish? Does the medication pass on to the bears? You'd assume so, right?
Like,
Is it going to make the bears more likely to venture into human territories, but also less likely to attack humans?
They'll chill them out, making them more bearable. Yep, I hurt you with that one. I'm sorry.
Lockpick says, depends on the medication. The biology difference between fish and bears is enough that the medication may have no effect or an entirely different effect. An extreme example of that is eat plant food.
I think Locke just told us to eat broccoli.
My brain just ground to a halt on
If
that
you're
one.
old enough to know how that sentence goes, then we're good.
Okay. I mean, I see the point there. I see the point.
Well, my thinking is,
Brock's
got
not
these
here to
records-
defend himself.
Call him up.
I don't think I've heard from him yet today. Let me check. He might, and if he's asleep, I'm gonna let him sleep because he gets little enough sleep.
Fair enough. But
if we're down the
if
list,
you've got fish that are picking this stuff up, swimming in the water, one would logically think that the bears that are standing in this water are absorbing whatever's in the water too. If it's flowing,
they'd have to be drinking the water. They'd have to be drinking the water. Now, granted, they are.
So, if you're going to go through and do this study thing, that would be your next step is, okay, we've got this stuff that's in the water. This is what happens to the fish that live in the water. What happens to the things that eat the fish and drink the water too?
Yes, that would be the logical next step. Also, bears are big. Take a lot of it to, affect a bear, I bet. I mean, think about how much bigger a bear is than a human. And how much...
now picturing bears with comb-overs because they decide they feel better that way.
It would have to come in contact with your lung tissue. Okay.
I mean, that's not that hard to do if you're standing at one of those
I mean, at a waterfall where it's and you're breathing.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah. I think we've been sidetracked on this subject long enough. I think...
Sorry.
Fish do some crazy voodoo with water flowing through their body. That sounds about right, Lockpick. That sounds about right. And I think we could leave it there.
Okay.
And here again is your host at Deepak in Durham, North Carolina.
Derailed.
Peter Sagal.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you so much. Right now, it is time for the Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me Bluff the Listener game. Call 1-888-WAIT-WAIT to play our game on the air, or check out the pinned post on our Instagram page. That's at WaitWaitNPR. Hi, you're on Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Hi, this is Anthony Oliveira calling from St. Louis, Missouri.
St. Louis, we love St. Louis. Despite being from Chicago, we're cool that way. What do you do there?
I'm actually a zookeeper here.
Wow.
One of the great zoos.
Do you get to work with the big fun animals like the tigers and lions and stuff?
No, I actually work with the insects.
You have, you work in a zoo for insects? Are they responsive to your care, the insects? Like when you walk up with leaves, do all the centipedes crawl over and sit up in bed?
No, they're really not great for companionship, but
okay.
I appreciate them.
Well, Anthony, it's nice to have you with us. You're going to play the game in which you have to tell truth from fiction. Bill, what's Anthony's topic?
Easter? I hardly know her.
Easter is this weekend,
Easter,
and if you are
brought her.
sick of the normal Easter traditions like the Easter Bunny, or wondering what the hell is exactly inside a Cadbury cream egg, there is somewhere a brand new Easter trend on the rise. Our panel is going to tell you about it. Pick the one who's telling the truth, and you'll win the Wait Waiter of your choice on your voicemail. You ready to play?
Yeah, I'll try my best.
All right. First, let's hear from Adam Burke.
When Irving Berlin wrote In Your Easter Bonnet with All the Frills Upon It back in 1933, little could he have imagined that his rocking ode to vernal millinery would still resonate with the youth some 90 years later. But so it is with some of the biggest influencers on social media, not only celebrating the colorful headgear, but making bank doing so. I first did a shoot of me in a homemade Easter bonnet as a joke, says popular Instagrammer Tabitha Clack, who boasts 2 million followers online. When the pics proved a hit, high-end fashion supply company Seems Pricey reached out for a collab, as the kids say. Before long, Clack realized she could fit multiple sponsors on a single bonnet, with one of her 2023 pieces sporting a bottle of air freshener, several candy brands, and a fifth of vodka, all artfully attached to her festive crown. This in turn motivated the competition, with rival influencers trying to see how many promotional items they could cram onto their seasonally adorned noggins. I might have overdone it last year, says beauty influencer Skylar Shapp, who somehow managed to attach 5 shoe brands and a compact air fryer onto her Easter 2024 bonnet, injuring her neck in the process. Undeterred, she plans to return this year with some Tylenol-branded haberdashery with matching neck brace, of course.
Easter bonnet influencers on the rise. Your next story in your Easter basket comes from Alonzo Bowden.
While Leah Winley of York, Iowa loved clothes, she also loved Jesus. So this year, she and her friends Andrea and Debbie all gave up buying clothes for Lent. Well, new clothes, that is. Vintage is fine. Now, as Easter nears, Leah's Lent fashion has started a huge craze. Everybody's wearing the new Easter vintage look around York. And it's not just regular vintage, they've gone Victorian. But apparently the local Cineplex hasn't shown A Christmas Carol for a while, so they're guessing how to wear the different items. When Andrea arrived at church in a corset, she was told by the very agitated minister that a corset isn't actually a shirt. Debbie thought her bustle skirt was quite elegant when she put it on, but it was also huge and she lost half of it climbing out of her Uber. The church elders, while impressed with the young women's efforts, asked that perhaps next year they could give up fruit or chocolate instead.
Vintage Victorian Easter wear gets popular in Iowa. Your last bunny tail comes from Dulce.
Bunny tail, nice.
In today's edition of Voting Does Matter, cooks and homemakers on the internet are suggesting we dye potatoes for Easter because eggs are too expensive. Yes, I said potatoes.
Yeah.
It's a move that had one writer ask, what in the Great Depression is this?
Yep.
So this year we will celebrate the resurrection of my Lord and Savior by releasing hordes of well-dressed children into a backyard to search for colorful tubers. There's even a recipe for deviled potatoes, too. That's got to be an unsettling experience. You think you're biting into an egg, but no, it's a potato. And sure, dyeing and decorating eggs is the Easter tradition. But do you know why? No? Me neither.
All right, here are your choices from Adam Burke. Influencers on Insta and elsewhere taking up the Easter bonnet to show off their paid promotions.
Love
from
you, Lockpick.
Alonzo, a group of
Love
ladies
you.
in Iowa go all Victorian in their Easter wear. Or from Dulce, because of the price of eggs, more and more people are hiding Easter potatoes on the lawn for their kids to find. Which of these is the real story of a new trend in...
We're all three of us are saying C. Lockpick is saying B, just to be different. Just so that the audience is aware of that. We're all going C. We feel like...
I mean, I haven't seen any posts about the other two things necessarily, but I have seen a lot of people saying eggs are too expensive, I'm dyeing potatoes, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that. They're doing anything but real eggs, and they're saving that specifically for, we're making egg salad and that's it.
Right.
Okay, aside from all that, whatever score you say at the end of this, I'm going to divide in half, because I just see you just took 2 votes with 2 different names.
Oh, yeah, I'm only taking 1 point for this.
Okay.
I'm only taking the point for Nikwork Entertainment. DJ TS 1308 was just agreeing with everybody.
Understood.
Yeah.
Still worth poking at, because it's funny.
It is funny. It is good. And thank you for calling attention to it, because that would have gone unnoticed by people at home.
Easter.
At home, yes.
I'm going to go with Dulce's story about dyed potatoes.
Dyed potatoes. You're choosing Dulce's story well. To bring you the correct answer, we spoke to someone who is familiar with it.
Potato skin is not the same color as egg shells?
No kidding.
Which is part of the reason that they're not a good substitute. That was Amanda Mactus, the associate editor of Delish, who commented on the real story of potatoes being used in place of Easter eggs. She doesn't recommend it, neither do we. However, Anthony, you got it right. Dulce was telling the truth. She gets a point. You win our prize, the voice of your choice on your voicemail. Well done.
Thank you, thank you.
And now the game where we have local celebrities on to answer questions about things that are far away. Now, you might know Lewis Black as one of the most successful comedians of the last 30 years, or from his comedy specials, or from his Back in Black
The American
segments on The Daily
potato
Show,
famine
or
has
from
begun.
his role playing the actual embodiment of rage in the Inside Out movies. But did you know he is a proud University of North Carolina alumni? We are happy to welcome him back to the place where he learned his genteel manners. Lewis Black, welcome to Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Well, thank you.
It's great to have you.
Well, it's nice to be here.
So, you are very well known and have been for a long time for your rants, for getting angry and upset about things. Was that something you did from the beginning, or did you discover it one day?
I discovered it. I mean, and I wasn't angry on stage. I realized that I was suppressing the anger.
Yeah.
Finally, as I was rolling along, a friend of mine, another comic, came up who was, and he said, you know, you're really angry, and you should let it come out. You should go on stage and yell everything. And he said, I'm on stage yelling all the time, and nothing that I'm yelling about should anybody be angry about.
Right.
And this is a guy who put plumber's helpers on his head. And so I did it. And it literally was, I went, oh, that's it.
There you go.
And that was
so your life was changed by Gallagher. That's amazing. Who knew?
That's
so,
what I was
mean, they used to
thinking.
say about Don Rickles, who did insult comedy, that he was an absolute sweetheart in real life, nicest guy you ever met. Is that like you? Or are you like actually in real life not that angry?
No, I mean, who could be that angry? It's exhausting.
I thought you, actually. I thought you were the best at it.
Well, I wake up and either I'm looking at a newspaper, I'm turning the TV on, or I'm looking at my phone, and within 5 minutes, I'm livid. Something has occurred that has driven me completely nuts.
Right. Yeah. I think everybody listening and watching you right now have had that experience, but none of us have figured out how to make a living at it.
Yeah.
You don't work up to it. You don't go like I'm going to be irked first and then like slightly annoyed, just straight to rage.
Oh yeah. There's no pedal. That broke.
Lou, I don't know if I ever told you this, and to everyone, Lewis Black is a friend and one of my comedy heroes. I had to stop watching you so I didn't do you, because the rants just come out, and then you realize, like, wow, I'm as mad as Lewis Black. I'm doing really good here.
Yeah.
I got to calm down a notch.
Wow.
Love you, man. Love you from day one.
You the same.
You become.
It is really hard not to.
You become so well known for it.
It's really hard not to turn into a Mr. Shouty. When you're talking about stuff that, and even in comedy, even when you're saying jokes, when you're talking about stuff you care about, it's and there are parts of what's going on that are making you angry. It's really easy just to find yourself in that Mr. Shouty sort of space and just shout about it. And I'm trying to walk a very thin line of doing that some, but not becoming that guy. You know? Mm-hmm. We deal here with stuff that is emotionally charged, and I want to get shouty about the injustices I see, like yesterday. But I also don't want to be the Mr. Shouty on the internet, you know?
You're walking the line between being passionate and acknowledging that that there is passion for what you're saying, and just being loud for being loud.
Right. Also, I don't want to, as a comic, as a comedian, I don't want to be doing Lewis Black or doing Sam Kinison, you know, when I'm doing my material. I want to be doing Trevor Stewart's material when I'm doing my material, not, you know, not some pastiche of.
Mm-hmm.
Shout, shout, let it all out. Yep. Let it all out. Yeah, it just is this, you know. I don't want to be. Yeah, I just don't want to be doing. I don't want to be called out for doing somebody else's shtick, basically. These are the things we can do without. Come on. Come on. Shout, shout, let it all out. These are the things we can do without. Come on. All right, enough of that.
It's what people expect, and I'm wondering if it's ever like hard, if you ever have to like take a moment, meditate, and find your unhappy place.
Oh, no.
Just always right there.
No, and I'm sure you've experienced the same. I can be standing off stage talking to somebody about their new dog, or you got a puppy, and kind of be waxing on with them about it, and then it's like showtime, and literally, that's it. Boom, and now we're off, and I just started.
Wow.
It's just the way it is. I mean, I've been doing it so long, it's automatic.
Yeah.
Do people, like, because you're well-known and beloved, do people ever come up to you and go, wow, Lewis Black, hey, condemn me?
People, I have achieved something that is so bizarre, they will actually tell me, and I can't, will they just say, what happens if I say the word?
You can do whatever you want because who'll know? Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, so they will say, could you give me an autograph for my brother-in-law and just write Tommy? And I'm like, okay. And I have literally was approached time after time. Can we take a picture? Do you want to do this? Yeah, let's do this. It's true.
Yep.
And, for the radio listeners, a rude gesture was made.
Yeah.
See, and that's a professional note that they're not going to have.
The one thing that we found out about you that I was genuinely surprised by is that you have been the paid spokesman for Aruba, the island vacation destination.
Yeah.
God bless.
Yeah, that was a great gig.
I bet it was.
That really was.
But I'm thinking to myself, like, what was the process where, like, some advertising agency said, okay, Aruba, beautiful, lovely, laid back, I know, Lewis Black.
The idea was that I obviously hated everything.
Yes.
But I liked Aruba. And reason enough for everyone to get on a plane and go there.
I remember the slogan, Aruba, it's gorgeous.
So, I mean, was the idea like it transformed you? So they'd say, like, Mr. Black, I'm afraid we've lost your hotel reservation, you can't stay. And you'd be like, okay.
Yeah. It was really something. But we shot, it was like we shot 5 ads in like 3 days. It was a lot.
Oh, yeah.
It was
tough 3 days in Aruba.
But it was 110 degrees, and get me some sunblock, and does anybody have an umbrella? I'm dying here.
I love the idea, like the whole idea of the campaign is that Aruba is so lovely, it can even make Lewis Black happy. And while making these ads, you are, in fact, miserable.
That is Hollywood
genius.
magic.
It really is.
That is
Because
magic.
he's more Lewis Black than Aruba is Aruba.
Exactly. Well, Lewis Black, what a pleasure to have you here. We haven't... Yes, it is. Yay! We have invited you here to play a game we're calling...
Hush now. Stop your ranting and go to sleep.
Since you're all about getting riled up, we thought we'd ask you 3 questions about calming people down, specifically babies.
Seriously?
Seriously. So all you have to do is answer 2 out of 3 questions about shushing, and you'll win our prize for one of our listeners, the voice of anyone they might like for their voicemail. Bill, who is Lewis Black playing for?
Jolene Dugas of Durham, North Carolina.
All right. First question, most people, of course, soothe their babies to sleep with lullabies, and one lullaby, written by a father for his own little baby, went on to become incredibly famous. Most people know that lullaby as what? A, the theme from Jaws. Ba-dum, ba-dum. The theme from Jeopardy. Or C, Sir Mix-a-Lot's Baby Got Back.
Jeopardy.
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 I can't hear you. What I heard, E. You think it's C? It's B, right? It's got to be the Jeopardy thing.
It is the Jeopardy thing.
Yeah.
Irv Griffin wrote it for his son, and he went on to create Jeopardy. And by virtue of it being used as the theme song for so long, Mr. Griffin earned about $70 million in royalties from it. So,
Cheese and
What was the
crackers.
song? But what are these? What were
ta,
the
ta.
words?
No, there's no words. It's ta ta ta.
No, they
ta.
got to be. Go to sleep, you little prick. There has to be words.
Now you owe Merv Griffin $3 million.
There are words now.
That was very well done. Two more questions here. Lullabies are common around the world, but they change as per different cultures. So, for example, a popular lullaby in Brazil has parents singing what to their child? A, someday you will grow up to improve your looks with plastic surgery. B, a monster crocodile is coming to get you. Or C, Sir Mix-a-Lot's Baby Got Back, but in Portuguese.
B.
It's got to be the crocodile.
It is the crocodile, yeah. A lot of, apparently, a lot of global lullabies threaten babies with terrible outcomes if they don't quiet down.
Then I could have had a child.
Yeah, you would have had a gift.
Or falling out of a tree.
All right, last question to
Right.
be perfect. There are other ways to soothe babies. In fact, some parents swear by what soothing technique? A, playing YouTube videos to babies of Jim Cramer's show on CNBC. B, playing recordings of the baby's own crying back to them to see how they like it. Or C, placing them comfortably and snugly inside the gallon-size Stanley insulated cup.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think they play the baby crying.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
I was going to go
Yeah,
for
the idea is that babies are fascinated
Sir
by other
Mix-a-Lot's
babies, even
Baby Got
themselves,
Back.
even when crying, so it works. Bill, how did Lewis Black do in our quiz?
No ranting about this. He won it all. 3 in a row.
Lewis Black is a comedian, actor, and host of the Rantcast. You can find his tour dates at lewisblack.com, including, I should say, a date coming up in just a week.
Yeah, April 29th, I'll be at Memorial Hall at Chapel Hill.
Lewis Black, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Here in Durham. What a thrill. In just a minute, Bill chows down on his Jurassic lunch. It's our listener limerick challenge. Call 1-888-WAIT-WAIT to join us on the air. We'll be back in a minute with more of Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me from NPR.
Betterment guaranteed. Anxiety to every.
From NPR and WBEZ Chicago, this is Wait, Don't Tell Me, the NPR News Quiz. I'm Bill Curtis. We're playing this week with Adam Burke, Alonzo Bowden, and Dulce Sloan. And here again is your host at DPAC in Durham, North Carolina, Peter Sagal.
Thank you, Bill. In just a minute, Bill insists on reading us some of his latest poems. It's our Listener Limerick Challenge. If you'd like to play, give us a call at 1-888-WAIT-WAIT. That's 1-888-924-8924. Right now, panel, some more questions for you from the week's news. Dulce, a lot of people claim they don't have time to exercise because they're too busy doing chores around the house, but a new study suggests you can still get the benefits of exercise by doing what?
Right? Can I get a little
Not
hint?
that.
Not that.
Oh.
There's a lot of stuff it could be.
Can I get a hint?
Go, empty the dishwasher. Go, stop, come on, go.
Oh, doing your chores
fast?
quickly.
Yes, doing your chores faster.
These sound like the same people that came up with stand-up desks.
Right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Using a data set that tracked the daily movements of thousands of people, they found that people who did not exercise got some of the same benefits just from doing their daily activities faster. So don't just iron your sheets. Iron Man your sheets.
Who's ironing sheets?
This is a great point. This is.
Some people do.
What?
They do.
Who are these antebellum researchers for?
You know, they're heating the iron in the fireplace, as one does.
Unless you're a really
Also-
persnickety clan member, who is ironing shit?
No, this is great. I mean,
You know what? They're never wrinkled.
see? How do you know? That doesn't come
You know.
naturally. But no, all you have to do is just do everything quickly around the house, and you get.
Is it because it adds more steps?
It adds more steps. It stresses your heart just like regular, say, exercise does. It increases the load, and so you get benefits.
That
It
just
ju-
sounds
th-
like a way to break all of your dishware.
Yeah.
Yep.
And should you make things heavier too? Like, should you have a
Yes, absolutely.
a
You
broom
should make things
made out of
heavier.
lead?
You should make your bed with a weighted blanket. You should clean your toilet with a brush attached to a 40-pound kettlebell.
I'm just wondering, how big would your house have to be able to build up speed doing chores?
Right.
And if-
I mean, if you could afford a house that big, you could get a personal trainer.
That's true.
Right.
And also someone to do the chores for you.
Right.
Adam, this week we read about a mathematical formula. BDE equals FAM 6 plus FR2, and it goes on. It's part of a complicated new equation that calculates the perfect what?
Well, I think I know what BDE is.
It's not that. It doesn't stand for
all
that in
right.
this case.
Okay.
In fact, I'll give you the B and the E. It's best D ever. And it's still not what you're thinking of.
This is the.
Oh, is it literally a formula for happiness?
Yes, it's the best day ever. It is the formula for the perfect day.
Ah.
And here it is, everybody. You've always wanted to know.
Didn't Lou
I
Reed
don't.
already come up with that?
I think he did, yeah. But the formula, because everybody wants to know what the best day ever is, here it is. Ready? 6 hours spent with family, 2 with friends, 2 of exercise, less than 6 hours of work, 1 hour of eating and drinking, and 1.5 hours of, quote, extra socializing. This replaces the former perfect day model, Bloody Mary, big lunch, learn something bad happened to your ex, in bed by 10.
I like
So
the
I'm
old model.
supposed to believe that the best day ever don't include no sexy time? That's a lie. I'm
Right.
supposed to believe that hanging out with my mama is better than
Wait.
something safe.
Oh,
Or
Dulce,
is-
I
or
love
is that
you.
what-
Lies!
Or is that what they're calling extra socializing?
I think actually that is, now that I think of it.
All right, just making sure.
I was thinking of asking you, Dulce, what your perfect day is, but we have children here, so...
I mean, listen, my perfect day, watching my favorite TV show, having a delicious treat, being at the beach, and then adult time.
All right, now express that as a formula where A is adult time.
I would give me express MYB. Mind your business.
That was okay. That was funny.
Coming up, it's lightning fill in the blank, but first it's the game where you have to listen for the rhyme. If you'd like to play on air with us, call or leave a message at 1-888-WAIT-WAIT. That's 1-888-924-8924. You can catch us if you'd like to come see us most weeks at the Studebaker Theater in downtown Chicago, or come see us on the road. We'll be in Portland, Maine on the 26th and 27th of June, and at Tanglewood in Western Massachusetts on August 28th. For tickets and information to all of our live shows, go to nprpresents.org. Hi, you're on Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Peter, this is Alice. I'm calling from Park City, Utah.
Hey, Alice, how are you? It's nice to hear from you.
I'm good.
Park City is great. I'm sorry you just lost the film festival. Or are you sorry about that?
Not really.
No. Sundance, of course, was in Park City, and they just moved it away. You didn't enjoy that?
I'm okay with not having the tourists here.
Okay. Well, welcome to the show, Alice. Bill Curtis is going to read you 3 news-related limericks with a last word or phrase missing from each. If you can fill in that last word or phrase correctly on 2 of the limericks, you will be a big winner. You ready to go?
I am.
All right, here's your first limerick.
I used to crave foods that the swine adore, but now I eat kale with a primal roar. With Diplodocus feasts, my gut health has increased. Now I chomp on raw greens like a
dinosaur.
Or?
No, it's a 3-syllable answer.
Oh, carnivore.
Oh, so close. Many of these were carnivores. Older, very old, prehistoric carnivores.
Herbivore. Am I just like barking up the wrong tree?
A little bit. I'm just going to give you the answer. It's dinosaur. The latest food trend involves eating handfuls of, your kale and lettuce and greens right out of the bag without any toppings or dressing at all. They're calling it dinosaur time. But I'm calling it just giving up. It's so weird. Dinosaur time used to be what you called it when you dated an older gentleman.
That's called paying your rent.
This is a great way to get your important veggies in because it's so time consuming to make a salad. On the other hand, no, it isn't. I just did it while standing here. Here is your next limerick.
Cords and sockets make night rest real sweet, though I'm still not quite clear on the deets. Night terrors I'm shedding by grounding my bedding. I sleep when I plug in my
Sheets,
yes.
Yes, indeed.
Companies like Down to Ground and Earth and Moon are making headlines for their sheets that you plug into an electrical outlet. Surprisingly, these headlines are not couple murdered by their sheets.
Right?
Here's how it works. You take these sheets, they got a cable, and you plug it just into the grounding plug of your electrical outlet. And they say, as your body produces static electricity throughout the night, the sheets ground the electricity and keep you balanced. It's simple, and according to the website, it's, quote, science-backed. So it is definitely legit.
This is just an electric blanket?
No.
What?
This is half an electric blanket?
Well, an electric blanket does something. It warms up, keeps you warm on cold nights.
You're hot.
This does nothing.
These guys make the My Pillow guy seem like Thomas Edison.
Really true. All right, here is your last limerick.
When AI learns to translate, we all win. Undersea clicks and whistles will call in. Bottlenose swimmer will be this round's winner. The limericks won by a
dolphin.
Yes, dolphin. There you go. Researchers have developed a large language model that will hopefully eventually use AI to understand the language of dolphins. The lead researcher says the goal would be to one day speak dolphin, which is not going to be pretty knowing dolphins. They're going to be saying, hey, you check out that trainer? I'd like to balance his balls on my nose, if you know what I'm saying.
Hey-o!
Not me. It was the dolphin. It was the dolphin. It's not me.
I didn't write that.
Scientists hope that when they deploy this in the wild this season, they can understand dolphins' conversations with one another, because that will be an important step toward our next goal, blackmailing dolphins.
We already, we taught, Coco the gorilla is a prime example of us teaching animals to communicate.
Right.
And she didn't really have nothing to say.
Right?
Because that's the thing that y'all keep forgetting. We be trying to talk to these animals. Maybe they don't want to talk to us. Have you met us?
I don't. I feel the other way about it. I don't want to talk to a dolphin. I don't trust anyone that smiles all the time.
Yeah. Bill, how did Alice do in our quiz?
Alice will be swimming with the dolphins. 2 out of 3. Right is a win.
Congratulations, Alice.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. Take care. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Huh? What?
Support for this podcast and the following message come from Cunard, inviting you to sail in luxurious on board. Join. It's all the every step feels.
60 seconds in which to answer as many fill-in-the-blank questions.
Ship Queen Anne. Enjoy spacious accommodations, fine dining, award-winning entertainment, and exceptional service, all with a British flair. While on board, join Cunard's Insights Enrichment program for thought-provoking stories from famous faces and notable guests.
That's what that
Visit
is.
cunard.com/NPR. This message comes from Warby Parker. What makes a great pair of glasses? At Warby Parker, it's all the invisible extras. Without the extra step, feels marshmallowy soft. Plus, for every item purchased, Bombas donates to someone in need. Go to bombas.com/NPR and use code NPR for 20% off your first order.
Now it's time for our final game, Lightning Fill-in-the-Blank. Each of our players will have 60 seconds in which to answer as many fill-in-the-blank questions as they can. Each correct answer now worth 2 points. Bill, can you give us the scores?
Adam has 1, Alonzo has 2, Dulce has 4.
Dulce, you're clearly in the lead. Alonzo is in second, and Adam is in third place. So, Adam, we start with you. Here we go. Fill in the blank. On Wednesday, a federal judge threatened to open a contempt inquiry against the blank.
Trump
campaign.
Exactly. On Tuesday, researchers in Texas said funding cuts have slowed that state's response to the blank outbreak.
Measles.
Right. On Thursday, the Supreme Court said they'd hear arguments on Trump's plan to end birthright blank.
Citizenship.
Right. On Monday, the FAA announced plans to test a new system made to detect unregistered blanks.
Voters.
Right. This week, authorities in Kenya caught 2 teens trying to smuggle blank out of the country.
4 giraffes.
No, 5,000 ants. On Thursday, NASA confirmed that the James Webb Telescope has detected a possible sign of blank on a distant planet.
Life.
Right. On Wednesday, a judge dismissed a lawsuit against the New Orleans Blanks for their use of a fleur-de-lis.
Saints?
Yeah, the Saints. After his wife explained that money was tight and they couldn't afford their annual family holiday, a man in the UK came up with an ingenious solution and blanked.
Sold pictures of his
Took
feet.
him on the vacation he had when he was a kid?
No, he booked the vacation anyway with the kids, but not his wife. His wife said that this extensive house renovation they had just done meant they wouldn't have the money to all go on vacation. The husband said, I guess you're right, went ahead and booked one for him and the kids and not her. It's a really smart financial decision because from now on he'll never have to worry about going on vacation with his wife ever again or even living with her.
Right?
Bill, how did Adam do with our quiz? I think he did rather well.
He's way out in front. 6 right, 12 more points, total of 13 in the league.
All right. Alonzo, you are up next. Fill in the blank. On Wednesday, the White House confirmed tariffs of up to 245% on some products from blank.
China.
Right. On Tuesday, blank gave his first public remarks since leaving office.
Biden.
Right. This week, officials in Puerto Rico said the cause of an island-wide blank is still unclear.
Blackout.
Right. On Tuesday, 2 attendees at blank's town hall were tased with stun guns.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
That's right. According to new data, millions of people in Sweden are currently glued to their TVs watching blank.
Hockey?
Watching 24-hour live coverage of this year's moose migration. On Tuesday, director Chris Columbus said he wishes he could remove blank's cameo from Home Alone 2.
Trump.
Right. This week, a woman went viral because she refused to take off a Zoom filter that made her face look like a plate of breakfast during blank.
A meeting?
Business meeting?
Well, specifically, she refused to stop using that filter that made her face look like a plate of breakfast during a job interview. Doing it over Zoom, she left the breakfast filter on entirely, her eyes superimposed over fried eggs, her mouth on a slice of toast. She explained to the somewhat confused interviewer that she was, quote, not feeling well today, and using the filter to help. That's one way to be memorable. She was
That's
not.
how you get a job at Waffle House.
Yeah. Bill, how did Alonzo do in our quiz?
Well, he's making it a very close race. 5 right, 10 more points, but his 12 is 1 short of Adam.
All right. Well, how many then does Dulce need to win the game?
5 to win.
Here we go, Dulce. This is for the game. They're on your side. Here we go.
Yeah.
On Tuesday, Mark Zuckerberg took the stand at an antitrust trial to defend his company, blank.
Facebook?
Yeah, Meta, but Facebook as well. According to a new study, blanking faster could reduce risk of abnormal heart rhythms.
Breathing faster?
Walking faster. This week, an election debate in Canada was delayed 2 hours so that it didn't interrupt blank.
Hockey.
Right. On Monday, the Vatican announced they were putting architect Antoni Gaudí on the path to blankhood.
Sainthood?
Right. This week, Twinkies announced that they were now shifting their marketing away from families and towards blank.
Single men.
No.
Children?
Stoners.
Damn.
Single men!
Twinkies is embracing its destiny and going right for the stoners. They announced the creation of the Munchie Mobile, which will tour the country's dispensaries and hand out free snacks to the customers there. It's
I'm
like the
looking forward to
Oscar
them
Mayer
hitting us,
Wienermobile
man.
if the Wienermobile kept forgetting to pick its little brother up from middle school. Bill, did Dulce do well enough to win?
Well, she got 4 right, 8 more points, 12. That means she's 1 behind the Irishman who wins.
Wow.
Adam Burke.
There you go. In just a minute, now that we know people are recreating their childhood vacations, we're going to ask our panelists to predict what will be the next surprising vacation trend. But first, let me tell you all, Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me is a production of NPR and WBEZ Chicago in association with Urgent Haircut Productions, Doug Berman, Benevolent Overlord, Philip Goedeke writes our limericks, our public address announcer is Paul Friedman, our tour manager is Shana Donald. Thanks to the staff and crew here at DPAC. A very special thanks to everyone at WUNC. BJ Liederman composed our theme. Our program was produced by Jennifer Mills, Miles Groenboss, and Lillian King. Special thanks this week to Vinnie Thomas and Monica Hickey. Missing Peter Gwynn, Do Not Chase, Reward If Found. Our jolly good fellow is Hannah Anderson. Emma Choi is our vibe curator. Technical direction is from Lorna White. Our CFO is Colin Miller. Our production manager is Robert Newhouse. Our senior producer is Ian Chillog. And the executive producer of Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me is Michael Danforth. Now, panel, what will be the next vacation trend? Alonzo Bowden.
Walking, because no one can afford to fly.
Adam Burke.
Jeff Bezos is going to unroll Blue Origin Economy, where it's a square-shaped capsule with, it's just Amazon delivery driver. You just become an Amazon delivery driver.
Dulce Sloan.
IG baddies are going to the Poconos instead of Miami because the Poconos sound like islands.
And if any of that happens, we're going to ask you about it on Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Thank you, Bill Curtis. Thanks also to Adam Burke, Alonzo Bowden, and Dulce Sloan. Thanks to our fabulous audience here in Durham, North Carolina. Thanks to all of you for listening, wherever you might be. I'm Peter Sagal. We'll see you next week.
Da 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 da.
This is NPR.
This message comes from
right.
eBay. Swapping out your tires?
All right there. So. Scores are. I come in with 21. Cat's got 25. Peanut Gallery.
Ow. Nice.
I nailed it on the lightning round since we're doing double point on that.
Yep, you did.
Wow. 27 points. You are today's winner. Congratulations. You didn't, and I heard you hitting them too. I could hear you hitting them. So, like, that was amazing, dude. Great job. Way to take it. Thank you guys for being here.
I am running away right now. You guys finish talking.
yeah, I'm getting out of here pretty quick too. I did want to really quickly take a look at. Kat found the pictures of the rocket and dropped them in the chat there. And yeah, it is as phallic as I was thinking it was. It's just missing the two little, like... Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Kat. Thank you, Peanut Gallery. Thank you, Just Me Crystal. Much love to you. Thank you, Master Rasta 420. Much love to you. And of course, thank you, Lockpick. Mwah. Big kisses and hugs to you. Merry 420 and happy Easter to everybody out there. Stick around for the raid. We'll be raiding into DJ Big Dogs on the Sunday No Pants Raid Train. And, stick around, because later on, we will be coming back on. DJ TS 1308 will be doing something this evening. I believe it's going to be a product review. So, come on back for that this evening. Special 420 product review from DJ TS 1308. And now... it's time for me to say, as they say around here, 2 up, 2 down, VA, double deuces. We're out, y'all. With you, don't wanna fuck with you. You know what you can do, know what you can do, know what you can do. Fuck you, we're not cool.